Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Abashai Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. Right, to the confusion of faith that are joined unto our ranks. To the hopeful elect, my fellow laborers, the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm coming at you with another lesson. Dashara kwa taza pai I sana mala ka ya tazacha tacha za wa hadagaba'a. What I just did was recite the Hebrew alphabet in reverse. And anyone who would try to say that that isn't the sound of the tongue of the so-called Native American Indians when they speak is a liar. It's a denier and a liar. What you're looking at on the screen is your brother Yaikwab of the nation of Gad, who knows he's a Gadite. And it's clear that he's learned the improper name of Ahiah and Yeshaya. All right, which means he's learned that from Bubble Eyes. Bubble Eyes has a lot to pay for pushing that lie, and the people who push that lie. But nevertheless, he is a Gadite, and the fact that he's learned under Bubble Eyes is the reason why he's not on the highways and byways pushing the truth, which is why he hasn't been a big help. This video has only been viewed, according to Esau, 1,237 times. It should have been viewed 12 million times, times 10. All right, to have a native, so-called native man to speak on his heritage and his tongue. All right, this right here is the 10 tribes of Israel, the history of the North American Indians, showing that they are the descendants of these 10 tribes, which is written in the Apocrypha, these 10 tribes. All right. On page 130, it tells you, it highlighted. I'll actually read it through the camera if I can get it to focus. All right, wait a minute. That they were keeping Hebrew customs. Let's get it to focus. Salakia. There it is. The Indians will not cohabit with the women while they are out at war. They religiously abstain from every kind of intercourse, even with their own wives, for the space of 3 days and nights before they... I'm just reading it. It says, the Indians will not cohabit with the women while they are out at war. They religiously abstain from every kind of intercourse, even with their own wives, for the space of 3 days and nights before they go out to war. And so after they return home, because they sanctify themselves. All right? Then it gives you a scripture. It says, so Joshua commanded the Israelites the night before they marched to sanctify themselves by washing their clothes, avoiding all impurities, and avoiding all marital intercourse. When the Indians return home victorious over the enemy, they sing in triumph, Yehovah, ascribing the victory to him, like religious customs of the Israelites, who commanded always to attribute their success of war to, they got written here Jehovah, but we know that that's Yahweh. All right? And not their swords and their arrows. So the Gadites would return and sing, Yehovah, 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 Yehovah. You know? It's the same as you're going to hear this brother Jacob, Yaikwab here, speak about his nation and about his people and the fact that he knows he's a Gadite. That he knows that the Bible isn't the white man's book. All right? But my question is, where are the Gadite men? Where are you, Gad? Esau has done so much wickedness to you. Where are the men of Gad? Where are the tribes at? Where are the camps? Where are the Gadite camps at? This is a call to you, O Yaquab. Where you at, man?
And shalom, my brothers and sisters. This is Brother Yaquab from One Nation, One Power. All praise and glory to the Most High and his son's name is Shia. I'm going to do this song in Hebrew, using the Hebrew language. I'm going to do like 3 songs. So hopefully this will open the eyes to my brothers and sisters out there who are indigenous, from the five nation, the First Nation people, from the East Coast to the West Coast to the North and South, and all those that are scattered abroad. So I'm praying that this will help wake you up, because once you see that the Hebrew language actually fit the same style of singing that we sing when we're in the powwow dances or doing our regular social dances, right? So I'm going to also use my language, just so people know that I am 100, that I'm not one of these red apples, because like I said before in my previous video, I was traditional. I didn't care about the Bible, I didn't care about, to me it was a white man's book, just like everybody else who thought that the Bible was a white man's book, but it's not. And let me say this right now. The Bible is not a white man's book. One more time. The Bible is not a white man's book. All right?
And he's as brown can be. He's not red. Like he said, he's not one of these red apples. And he goes on to sing Shalak, Ahaya, Yeshaya, which is the incorrect names of the Lord, but he sings it in his language. All right? I'm going to read again from this 10 tribes. The history of the North American Indians, showing that they are descendants of these 10 tribes. And I'm going to go to page 246. And this is discoveries at Newark. Now these discoveries that I'm reading about, Glenn Beck from Fox News got fired for bringing his history out on television. He was fired shortly after this. All right, and it was actually a Edomite former client, student of mine that sent that to me, that informed me about Glenn Beck teaching about the natives being Israelites, because she had heard me say that. And then she watched Glenn Beck say it, and she was telling me about it. And then, the video's all over the internet now. All right, and then shortly after that, he got fired. But anyway, on page 246, Discoveries at Newark in 1875 by A. McBride. All right. In a recent issue of the United Presbyterian was a letter from John A. Bingham, United States Minister to Japan, expressing the opinion that American Indians are descendants of from the Japanese, which is a lie. Okay? Because they were trying to hide who they were, and making them not the Hebrew Israelites made it okay to do to them what they did. All right? Especially if you're claiming Christianity. The appended is founded on marked resemblance of the two races in manners, physique, customs, complexion, language. All right? And so Japanese are not red. That goes to show you Japanese are also brown. And you have to also understand that the Northern Kingdom in the ancient world, Ammon and Moab, Ammon being the Japanese, was right next to Samaria. And Israelite men were constantly making children and taking concubines of Ammon and Moab. Some of the kings of Israel's mothers were of Ammon or Moab. Facts. All right? Because it's the sperm line that determines your nationality. So that being one of the reasons why some of the Northern Kingdom have those so-called Asian features, because we intermixed and mingle with them so strongly in the ancient world. All right? Back to the book. It is not our purpose to attempt to refute the evidence in favor of that view, but only to state a few facts which have led us to believe that the American Indians are descendant of the native Jews or Israelites. We refer to some of the inscriptions found on certain stones. These stones at the time were witness to them. So you got to remember, Snowden said in his book that artifacts and art are more important than the written word, because the artifacts and the relics tell a story that the written word may not or may fabricate. Okay? And as he said, these stones, back in the book, these stones at the time, we witnessed them on the 5th of April, 1866, in the possession of Reverend Matthew Miller in Senecaville, Ohio. Reverend Miller was then a member of the O.S. Presbyterian Church. If he is still living, we presume he is now in the reunited Presbyterian Church. He had been engaged in a part of his time in missionating among the Jews of this country. So they were already calling them the Jews because they knew. All right. The first of these two stones to which we refer were found in what is called the Indian Mound, 3 miles east of Newark, Ohio. The inscription of the first were, "May Yahweh have mercy on me. It was good it is good to love the age." The stone was carved in the shape of a man's head. The writing on the second stone could not be read. It bore the image of 4 human faces. The third stone was found near Newark in a sink which had been engraved. The first inscription on the stone was, "The dew of life is the Almighty waking those who sleep." Similar to an expression found in Isaiah 26 and 19. The other inscription on this stone was "King of Earth." The fourth stone was, that's 26, because it's written in Roman letters, XXV1. So yeah, that's 26 and 19. The fourth stone was found in a mound not far from Newark. The mound was formed principally of a stone with several small mounds on the base formed of fire clay beneath one of these. The vault of a coffin containing the skeleton of a human being. Beneath the coffin was a metallic case. The stone was found in this case. The stone was oblong, probably 6 inches, a little more in length, and about the thickness of 1.5 inches in width, and the stone was very fine-grained, carved very smooth. On the face of the stone was an image of a man and the name Moses written in the head of Hebrew letters. This is the very stone that Kazakh brought out. I think they call it the monologue stone. All right. But yeah, why would the Native Americans have a stone written in Hebrew letters with Moses, with an image of carved of Moses? Why is this not taught in schools, all the time, in history, all the time? Why did they sweep and hide this history under the rug? All right. The mound in which the last stone was found, being mostly of stone, was torn down, and the stone used. So Esau tore it down to hide it. All right. We believe the building of a canal and other public works. On the summit of these mounds was 3 that must have been 100 years in growing. 100 growths were counted on the stump after the tree had been cut down. All these stones were relics were found in connection with the skeletons of the Indian bodies. The skeleton of the Indians were, and so Esau just a grave robbing, just wow. All right. But which is especially worthy of notice is that these inscriptions were written in Hebrew letters or characters which were in use before the time of Ezra. So he was talking about the ancient biblical Hebrew or the Paleo Hebrew. All right. Using it says before the time of Ezra, some change was made in the language in respect by Ezra. That's because they went to the Assyrian captivity and they started using the Assyrian letters, which is what's used to this day. And then Ben Eleazar Yehudi in the 1800s, around this time too, added all the dots and the vowel points and all that sort of thing. So they bastardized and changed the language, and they used the Yiddish in it. All right, so that with the vowel points and the dots and all the vowel points, that's the Yiddish influence, which is spoken today, which they say is Hebrew, and it's not. It's a corrupted form of Hebrew that the Israelis are speaking that they say is actual Hebrew, and it isn't. All right, his mission among the Jews Salaki, let me go back. It says, Reverend Miller was noted as a Hebrew scholar, using the Hebrew language in his daily study of the Bible, and as another, proving that they knew who we were. That's why this book was written. All right? And another would use the English Bible. He spent some of his time comparing the inscriptions with ancient manuscripts of the language which he had access. His mission among the Jews was also to advantage him to respect. We have stated these facts as we then receive from him, and we leave all who are concerned with the matter to form their own opinion as the ancestry of the Native Americans, or the Native Indians. So the point being is that it wasn't convenient for Gad to be accepted, all right, as the natives. And so when you read the Second Ezra, the 13th chapter, and it talks about Azareth and how they came across the seas, they came here to the Americas. So my question is, where are the Gadite camps? Where are the men of Gad, man? Stop being cowards and stand up. All right, because there's a couple of Gadites in different camps scattered about, you know. But where are the men like you? Where are you at, Yaiqua? You need to get away from bubble eyes, man, because you're learning those lies. That's why you're not going out on the highways and byways and teaching. So with that, you know, actually, matter of fact, no, we're not done yet. Let's click back. These brothers right here.
Thou will be sent away, so give.
They write laws that benefit them. They do all these things.
You know, where these brothers go? Where you at, man?
And we receive nothing.
All right, we are falsely called. The name of this video is we are falsely called Indians. We are the tribe of Gad.
All these are
one of the 12 tribes of
that
Israel.
we know about on these reservations. And these are all curses, which is why we use the book of Deuteronomy and the prophecies that are written in those places. And we do not have that knowledge, which is why this video came out, is to give you the knowledge to know that you are better than just being called an Indian.
The Indian means savage.
Just being called an Apache, a Navajo, a Sioux, and all these other cursed names that we were being given.
Yeah, like tree niggers. That was another name that was given unto Gad. Copper-colored people. And you see how dark, how brown they are. And they were even darker and browner back then. The only thing that separated them from Negro was hair texture, but their skin colors were the same going back 300 years ago. All right, 400 years ago. Gad was lightened up through rape and robbery, man. All right, because there are images of them still floating around. Because both of these men are darker than I am. All right, this is Genesis 49:19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last. We're at the last, Gad. Stand up. Call Halal Yahweh Bashim Al Shai Bashim Rakak Wadash Wa Abad Babal.